Nostradamus was conscious of his greater awareness, even as a boy growing up in the French village of Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, where he was born in 1503. Coming from a family with roots in both Jewish and Christian traditions, he believed his visions proceeded from the divine power of God. His ancestors were Jewish. His family had converted to Christianity. So, with his grandfather, a doctor, he studied the Kabbalah, as well as the Old and the New Testaments. He also studied the stars. Nostradamus' early education was an extraordinary one for a French youth of his day. His father, who was the village notary, saw to it that Nostradamus was schooled in the classics and the sciences. From his mother, Nostradamus derived his love of God and his passionate faith. He learned to respect the gift of prophecy as the power of God to make all time, past, present, and future, become one time. One of Nostradamus' earliest recorded visions was of a religious nature. While still a youth, he saw a young Franciscan friar approach the well. He was compelled to go to the friar and pay him homage. He fell to his knees and kissed the young man's robes. Asked why he was paying such duty to a lowly friar, Nostradamus replied, "Because I must kiss the robes of His Holiness the Pope." Nostradamus' behavior was thought to be eccentric. But many years later, after Nostradamus had died, the young man, Felice Peretti, became Pope Sixtus V. But Nostradamus was not yet ready to pursue a life as a prophet. Instead, he attended the university, where he was trained to be a physician. While he was still a student, a plague, the dreaded curse of the 16th century, spread across Europe. Medical science had no cure for the disease, and so thousands died. Nostradamus left school at the age of 22, never having practiced medicine before, went out to try to heal the sick and dying. Nostradamus' patients recovered. What cure he used is not recorded. What is recorded is that his fame as a healer spread. From near and far, towns afflicted with the plague sent for him. His achievements were legendary. Had he never made a single prediction, Nostradamus would have endured in history as a remarkable physician. His success brought him to the town of Agen, where he married and settled down. There, rumors of his strange powers to see into the future provoked much curiosity. On one occasion, he was invited to a banquet where his host attempted to trick him. He told Nostradamus they would be eating pig that evening. He said he had a black pig and a white pig, and he invited Nostradamus to predict which of the two they would be eating. Nostradamus said, "The black one." The host then instructed the cook to prepare the white pig. Later that evening, as they were enjoying their meal, the host challenged Nostradamus to once more state which pig they were eating. Nostradamus replied, as he had before, "The black one." Triumphantly, the host then called for the cook to ask him to declare which of the two they were eating. The cook said that while he was preparing the white pig, it fell from the table. It was devoured by dogs, so he was forced to serve the black one. More and more, Nostradamus was becoming aware of his power to predict the future. But it wasn't until a personal tragedy struck that he took account of that power. and changed his life accordingly. When the next wave of the devastating plague took the lives of his wife and 2 children in 1533, he fell into a deep despair. He retired to a life of seclusion and became a quiet, introverted man. He then wandered aimlessly throughout Europe for the next 10 years. Nostradamus was looking continually inward. He now discovered what it was he had to do. He returned to Salon, in the south of France, where he began to record his visions.
Seated at night in my secret study, alone, reposing over the brass tripod, a slender flame leaps out of the solitude, making me pronounce that which is not in vain.
He chose to write down his predictions in a 4-lined rhyming verse known as the quatrain. He wrote in his native French, but to protect himself from the superstitious witch hunters of the day, he confused the verse with Latin and Greek, and even anagrams. He wrote 1,000 quatrains, dividing them into 10 groups of 100 each, called centuries. The first edition of his quatrains was published before his death in 1566. They continue to be published to this day.